What's up, Facebook? Recovery Fitness going live. Thought I'd come outside in the sunshine today. It's so beautiful out. Blue skies finally. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really sick of it being overcast and cloudy all the time. Kind of blah, right? But that's why I continue to encourage you guys to get outside as often as you can. Wait for a few more of you guys to join in here. Hope everyone's doing all right. Today is Friday. Friday. You guys been able to get outside at all yourselves? Is anybody doing any walking? Any hiking by yourselves? Getting your doggies outside? Well, I'm so glad that you guys are able to continue to join in on these videos with myself, but of course our other wonderful recovery crew who have been putting out some amazing content. The meditations with Brian Quinn have been absolutely great, and John's words of encouragement in the morning is a really nice way to kick off our days. Like we've all been talking about, we're here to continue to engage with you guys and connect with you guys, and just be here as a resource. We're all constantly continuing to encourage you guys to reach out, especially if you're struggling right now. We want to know how we can help you. We want to know how we all can stay connected with each other, right? So it's been really nice to be able to have these videos. It's definitely challenging not being able to see any of you guys in person, or to be at the center, or to be on hikes or group workouts. That's, unfortunately, this is the new normal right now. So it's become a big adjustment period for everybody, including myself. All of us, we're all kind of on that same playing field right now. This is the new norm. But you know what? It's not going to defeat us. It's not going to stop us. We're still here. We're still going strong as hard as we can. It just looks a little bit different, but we're still here, right? We can still carry that message. All of us, all of you guys, we can all continue to be that face of recovery and give each other hope and strength. And it's really challenging some days, right? But what is just so important is to hang on to that message of hope, that little bit of hope, because if I have a little bit of hope, then I have enough to share with one other person, and they have enough to share with one other person, kind of so on and so forth. So I just continue to ask you guys to share your hope and strength with each other, be there for others, and, keep tuning in with us, keep talking with us. I hope that throughout our discussion today, you guys can start commenting. I really enjoy when, people are engaged in the comments, and, our conversation starts to shift a little bit. That always kind of makes my day and makes for a really interesting video, So we'll kind of get started. Hopefully a few more people can kind of join in. Whoever has been joining me the past week or so, I forget how long we've been doing these now, but we've been reading out of the book Outrageous Openness by Tasha Silver. So I've been kind of picking a reading out of there every day, sharing it with you guys, and then just kind of talking about my thoughts. But it's not more so about my opinions and my thoughts. We all have our own, but it's more so of like trying to get the deeper meaning behind that reading of the day, and to hopefully be able to relate it to what's going on, whether it's in my life or your guys' lives, but just being able to just connect everything, right? So many of our readings have all really been tying in, and the other people who have been doing readings and talks on here, we all still want to we all still want to present that united front with each other. So I'm just glad to be able to get the opportunity to be able to, check in with you guys every day. So I always start with, just giving a quick little background on the book, for people who have not joined in at all yet. So Tasha Silver is the author, and she graduated from Yale with a degree in English literature, but along the way fell madly in love with yogic philosophy. So she has a lot of people that write into her, and she'll respond, and she's kind of put them all into these short little chapters, which is really nice. So you'll often hear of her mention the divine order or the divine source. And the way that she defines it in her book is the divine order says that the perfect solution to any problem is already selected if you allow yourself to be guided. Right? That's kind of that idea of letting go. If I can let go of all the things that I don't have control over, and if I can trust that things are going to be okay, that perfect solution to all of our problems right now is going to be solved in some way or another, and I'm not sure how that looks or what the answer to that will be, but if we can just let go and trust a little bit, I think things will eventually be okay. And she also says the divine source says there is a natural universal abundance that knows how to meet every need. So just really kind of keeping that in mind as we go forward with these readings. And what I always continue and ask from you guys is to have an open mind with me. You'll often hear her reference divine order or the universe or God or whatever it is that she references. I support whatever that means to you. It's all a very personal relationship between you and your own higher power. So please take that in whatever way that is most comfortable and whatever way that means to you. And I'll take it whatever way it means to me. And, if we can all just continue to keep that open-minded, that mindset, that usually always leads to really good discussion. So I'm hoping you guys can tune in, comment with me. Please comment, It always makes me happy to read what you guys have to say. I love it. So today's reading, sorry, it's super bright out here, but totally worth it. I'm squinting a lot. So today's reading is called Following the Inner Lead, Think Inside the Box. The first quote from C.J. Jung, bidden or unbidden, God is present. The second quote is from Albert Einstein. A problem cannot be solved by the same level of consciousness that created it. I grew up a perpetual worrier, perhaps from having a sensitive Pisces mother who always anticipated the next disaster, or from being an East Coast Jew. In any case, by the time I turned 25, I was literally making myself sick with fear. To survive myself, I had to change. One of the first techniques I learned was the God box. You simply write down your worries and pop them into some kind of container, as simple or elegant as you wish. Whenever a new worry comes up, into the box it goes. You don't even need a clear concept of God to do this. You make the offering to your own highest wisdom, or to the force that keeps the birds aloft in the sky. Doesn't matter. Sounds simplistic, but honestly, it works. If the problem torments you again, you remember it's in the box. It's done. You can also add as many other problems as you wish. Because studies show the mind recalibrates in 21 days, try to reliably submit a particular worry for at least that long. During the period of offering, solutions often spontaneously arise. When the mind is no longer grasping for an answer, the box gives room for a divine plan, even in impossible messes. I first used the box when I was crazily looking for a new apartment one summer. Friends kept helpfully reminding me that the vacancy rate in the Bay Area was at an all-time low of 3% and that the odds of finding a decent, affordable place were next to nil. But the teacher who had suggested the box insisted that odds and percentages didn't matter one whit. What matters was the offering. With a sense of bemused curiosity, I scrawled my first note and slipped it in. I am now being guided to the right apartment at the right time. It's already handled. Within a month, my veterinarian asked offhandedly as she checked my kitten for ear mites, "You still need a spot, right? I know one." She was right. 15 years later, I'm still there. After a while, you start trusting the process. You realize the details of the solution are irrelevant since those will be revealed. What matters is offering the problem over with a sincere, consistent heart. The box is also a perfect complement to divine order, allowing you to have a sacred place to store your prayers and statements if you wish that. For some practical-minded people, having a concrete spot really helps. So what do you have to lose but anxiety? Love that reading today. I also enjoy the super short ones. So the God box, all right? So again, just asking you guys to keep an open mind, take that form of God or the divine order, the universe, whatever that means to you, I guess the way I'm able to think about it and define it is, as long as there's something in this world, in this universe, that is greater than me, I can put my trust and my faith in that, right? So I actually did make a God jar quite a while ago, before I actually got this book. I don't know, I think I did it last year or so. It was something someone else had suggested for me to do. I was like, all right, whatever. I thought it was kind of stupid at first. But I just did it anyways, It was one of those situations where, I was able to just kind of trust the process and trust the people in my life who started giving me suggestions, since running on my own will had kind of run me into the ground, at some point in my life. So at that point, I was kind of desperate and open enough to start taking new suggestions. And so I did. So I grabbed I don't know, I think it was like one of those clear, like, orange juice containers. So when I finished one, I washed it out and cleaned it. And then, me, because I like to, my little creative brain, I think I put a little lined piece of paper on it with, some words on there. And I made it pretty. As she says, you can make it as elegant or as simple as you wish. And I like that Tasha says this. You don't even need a clear concept of God to do this. You can make the offering to your own highest wisdom or to the force that keeps the birds aloft in the sky. It doesn't matter, right? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What it's really about is the action of doing the thing, right? That's what's really behind it. I was looking for something specific. And so even towards the end of that reading, she says, after a while of doing this, or anything really, but after a while you start to trust the process. You realize the details of the solution are irrelevant, since those will be revealed. What matters is offering the problem over with a sincere, consistent heart. So that's what it's about, right? It's not so much about who these little, if I'm putting all these little notes in this jar, it's not so much about who it's going to or where it's going to, right? You guys can kind of come up with that on your own. Just the point is to just imagine that it's some greater force out there, right? So if we can talk about letting go and being sincere when we're doing this, really focusing on what I'm writing on the note, that's what I really want to focus on. And I did that for a while. It's honestly not something that I do every day. I think it's probably sitting on top of my fridge, and I haven't touched it in a while. So, what I always say with these readings, this is not, these are little reminders for me to do too. Good examples. Excuse me. And so anyways, when I remember, like, when I originally started doing this, like, I don't know, a year and a half ago, I was just going through something at that time. And it was something that was really difficult, and I was having a really hard time letting it go. I was letting that emotional turmoil take over in my life, and I started to become, depressed and miserable again because of this situation. I think it was yesterday or the day before we talked about one of the readings of whatever is meant to stay will stay in our lives, right? And whatever is meant to go will go. And when we're in the moment of those things, of something leaving maybe, we don't always see it that way. We don't always see that it's this higher power removing something negative or toxic from our lives. And sometimes it's really hard to let go of that thing. Or if it's a person, if it's somebody we care about, it's really hard to let that go. And so that's what I was going through. I had somebody that, was being removed from my life, so to speak. And I wasn't happy about it. I was not trusting the process. I was not trusting that this person was leaving my life for a reason. All I could see, I was wrapped up in my emotions at the time, and letting that really trip me up. And so someone suggested the idea of the God jar or the God box, whatever you want to call it, you know. And so I did it, and I would write on the piece of paper. I don't even remember what I would write, but something along the lines of, help me to let go of fill in the blank, whether it's a person's name or the situation, just something really brief. But then I had to take it one step further. So what I would do is I would write on this little note and I would fold it up. And before I just threw it into the box, we want to have a sincere, consistent heart when we're doing this. I don't want to just chuck it in there and not think about it. I had to really just hang on to it and hang on to this idea of taking the action. So I would take this note and I would genuinely tell myself in my head, I'm going to let go of this thing now. I'm going to drop it into this jar, and, the divine order, the higher power it's going to help relieve me of obsessing over this thing. And so I would do that. I would place it in the jar and I would let go physically, drop it out of my hand, put it in the jar. But in my heart, I also had to take that conscious action of letting go here too and trusting. And what ended up happening was I probably rewrote the same thing on a new note every single day for weeks because I couldn't let go, And that's just one more of those things, patience, right? It's not going to happen instantly, and maybe some people don't even believe that it would really do anything. But that's not the point. The point is just taking the action to do it anyways, right? She even says in the book, make it another one of those habits for 21 days we talk about. Because studies show the mind recalibrates in 21 days. Try to reliably submit a particular worry for at least that long. And I did that. I don't know if I was intentionally doing it for the specific 21 days, but I would intentionally write this thing on a new note every single day and drop it in there because I was having a hard time letting it go, And that's okay. Sometimes we have to do that over and over and over again. Thank goodness I have people that are really close to me in my life that can help me work through situations, my best friend always tells me, she's like, I don't care if we have to hash this same problem out 500 times, she's like, it's not going to bother me. She lets me know that it's okay, that if I need to work through this problem time and time and time again until I feel I've really worked through it, or until I'm so exhausted of hearing myself talk about the situation, then she's there to help guide me through that. And I appreciate that. I hope you guys have some people in your lives like that today that will work through any situation that you're struggling with. Whether it takes 50 times to talk about it. But I love the idea of having this little box to put my worries in, I've learned that writing things down removes it from here and just gets it out of here. Because I don't know about you guys, but this gets real busy and real noisy sometimes. And we need an outlet, right? We talk about the many different outlets, especially us at Rock Covery, when we love getting outside and going hiking, that's one of those outlets, right? I can get out of my head for a little while. I can partake in that physical activity, but I can more so partake in meeting new people and, socializing, getting out of my head for an hour, a couple hours in the afternoon, right? So there's all different ways where we can take our obsessions and our worries and our fears out of here and put them somewhere else. So maybe for some of you guys, it's lifting a lot of weights with really loud music. Maybe it's getting it out of your head that way. I do have, a lot of women in my life who like to knit and crochet. Keep that busy work with your hands. Do you paint? Do you draw? Do you write? Does it take putting on headphones and just listening to loud music to distract yourself from your worries and your thoughts? I want to hear from some of you guys. What do you guys do to quiet those thoughts and those worries in your mind? Write in, share them with me. But that's, I don't know. I just love this idea of having this little box. Like, I can take this tangible thought that's in my mind, write it down, hold it in my heart for a second, and trust that I can let go of it and drop it in the jar, right? So, that's going to be my challenge to you guys today. For her, when she was searching for her apartment, she wrote that on a note. And she put it in the box and she wrote, I am now being guided to the right apartment at the right time. It's already handled. And by her saying it's already handled, she has that knowledge of trusting that there is already a solution out there, right? That's her trusting in her divine order. There is already the perfect apartment selected for her. And maybe it hasn't presented itself yet, but she's trusting and she's putting it in this jar and she's basically just kind of putting it out there into the universe, which can be scary, but why not do it anyways? You know? The very last sentence in this chapter is, so what do you have to lose but anxiety? You know? So can you do that? Can you write your worries and your thoughts or your problems that you have right now? Can you write them on a note? Can you create your own little God jar, your own box, you know? A lot of us have nothing but downtime right now, you know? So can you take the time to do that for yourself? Make it fun for yourself, you know? Take an orange juice container or a milk jug or a tissue box, whatever you got lying around, you know? Can you spend some time decorating it today? Can you make it fun for yourself? If you've got kids, you know, can they make one too? Make it a craft project. Make an afternoon out of it. And then what I encourage you to do from there is write down your worries. Do this for we keep talking about this idea of taking the 21 days to do a new habit, to create a new habit. Can you do that? Can you write down on a little, keep a stack of paper, keep a stack of Post-its or little note cards, whatever. Can you write down that thing that you're worried about or you're stressed about? Or if there's a solution out there you're looking for, can you write it down, fold it up, hold it in your heart, and just release it and drop it into the God box? Can you do that for 21 days? Why not? What do you have to lose by doing that? Something fun, it's something different, but it's also, again, it's more so about taking that action. Not about where it's going, but taking the action to do it and really believing that you can let go of that stress and that worry, And that's what she talks about. It's what matters was the offering. Her friends were talking about, she was looking for apartments in the Bay Area and there's an all-time low of 3% and that the odds of finding a decent affordable place were next to nil. But the teacher who had suggested the box insisted that the odds and percentages didn't matter one whit. What matters is the offering. So I'm asking you guys to keep that in mind. Let go of all the other details. But really, really focus on what it is that you want to let go of. Bring that into your conscious mind. And oftentimes we'll find that those little things that we're writing are actually out of our control. Like so many things right now. But there is that act of taking that thing and putting it over here somewhere else and letting go of it that way. Letting go is definitely a challenge for a lot of us. We've talked about that quite a bit. So this is just one practice that you can do, something different, something different that you can do to help yourself practice letting go. So make it an activity. If you got kids, let them join in. Create your own little God box or whatever you want to call it, but make it a practice. Try it for the next couple of weeks. What have you got to lose by that? So that is my short little reading here today. I know there's only a couple of you guys in here, so my rock recovery crew. But, these videos are available for you guys to watch later. I believe that they're being put on our rock recovery website as well. If you don't have Facebook, you can pass that along to other people. And I hope that you guys can continue to tune in. We've got an at-home workout coming up in a little while here at 3 o'clock. And Yana will be back on live tonight to share some words of encouragement as well. So we hope that you guys can continue to tune in, hang out with us for, the half an hour or however long we're each on here. Spend some time connecting with us, And I will be back here at 2 o'clock tomorrow. And as always, we are here for you guys every day. Please reach out if you guys are struggling, if you need someone to talk to. Please don't forget that we do offer peer mentor services at Rock Recovery Fitness, and we are still doing that. We are still willing to engage with people who want to engage with us. So if you feel like you need somebody that you can really relate to and you're really struggling right now, please message us. email us, just get in contact with us. Or if you can think of a friend or a family member who might benefit or who might even enjoy connecting on these videos with us, share that. Share that. Karen says, I love this idea, Godbox. Yeah, it is pretty cool, right? I think sometimes we hear suggestions and we're like, oh, well, that's kind of silly or that's kind of stupid. I don't really want to do that. But sometimes I find that doing the most simple, silly little things are the best, because they are so simplistic. Like, it's easy for me to remember them. It's easy for me to grasp that concept. So yeah, like I said, it's literally something so simple as creating your own little box or your own little jar and dropping your worries into them and holding that genuine intention in your heart that you're going to let go of them. And like I said, if you need to drop that same worry in that box for 30 days in a row, then do it. At some point, it's going to get a little bit lighter each and every time. So thank you guys for tuning in today. I really hope that you can get out and enjoy some more of the sunshine. I don't know about you, but I'm loving it. Even just sitting outside right now, it's great. It makes me happy for a little bit, and it actually helps, lessen my worries and my fears a little bit. So I hope that you guys can do the same. I hope you have an awesome afternoon. We will see you guys back here tomorrow at 2 o'clock for another reading. Happy Friday, guys. I'll talk to you soon.